Hi, I'm Annette Duffy, and I'm the Artistic Director for Tellico Community Playhouse. And I'm here today to talk to you about our Christmas offering, which is a lighthearted play about some travelers who get stranded in a train depot. And the title of this play is A Gift to Remember. So we get to be involved with them as they wait for their train to come along, for their connections, so they can get to their final destination where they will be celebrating their Christmas. And today I have brought three of our actors with me. Steve Mayberry, who is Clayton Kemper. Alex Duffy, who will be Nick Berry, and Sue Mertens, who is Kathy Norris. And I'd like to talk to each of you a little bit about your characters. Kathy, I'd like to start with you. Can you tell us about Kathy?
Sure. Kathy is a recently widowed, very recent, 2 months. Her husband had passed. And she is a grandmother. She's going to visit her daughter and her daughter's family in Boston. And she's got cookies, and she's knitting a sweater, and she's annoyed that she's not going to get there on time. But she sees the other people that are in the train station, and she sees that they have problems probably worse than what she has. They have a harder time of life, and so she kind of mellows through the play.
And you're a bit of an uplifter through the play, aren't you? With the other characters,
Yeah.
when they're feeling a bit grumpy, you cheer them up and you encourage them. I've noticed that. Do you feel like that's a bit of how you are personally?
I think so,
Yeah.
yes. And I'm also a grandmother. The child in the play is 8 years old. My grandson is 8 years old. And my family also lives way up north, and we travel to Christmas way up north. So there's a lot of, I felt her.
Yes. And that is something I'd like to mention. This is an exciting part about this play. We don't usually have children in the play, and we are blessed with this beautiful child that will be, well, she's going to be a star one day, I'm sure of it. She is so happy to be a part, and that's yet another reason you need to come and see this show. She's quite something to see. Steve, can you talk to me about your character a little bit, because you're not exactly one of the travelers?
No. Clayton Kemper is the depot manager, and Clayton's background is he was in the military because his wife is a member of the VFW Auxiliary, so he does have a military background. He's been in New Hampshire for a long time and likes it there. He is a little bit stern because he has information, but he has a very good heart.
Yes.
And he cares about people, and especially at Christmas Eve, and they are stuck.
Yes, Clayton does seem to have a heart for these poor souls who are waiting and waiting eternally for something to happen, for the train to be repaired. I also would like to point out that you have the tedious job of keeping everyone calm, because every traveler is getting upset. They're not happy about the delay. And there's our good station master who is, it's okay, I'm making coffee, and that sort of thing. So you're playing that very well. Do you think that you do that in general?
It is kind of managing people.
Yes.
And the situations they're in, because these individuals, I mean, their plane was canceled. They're on a train because they're trying to catch planes in Boston.
Yes.
And so this is another stop, a problem. And who knows, there could be other problems along the way in this show.
Well, I think that when any of us travel, you generally run into those. So you're running somewhere. Alex, can you tell us a little bit about your character and how it relates to you personally, where you are right now in your life?
Absolutely. Well, Nick he's in his mid-20s. I am also in my mid-20s. and he's married to Kelly, and they have fairly recently reached another milestone. The goal for a very long-term journey for them. They've had to wait much longer to have their first baby than a lot of other people do. They've waited over 5 years to adopt, and they are just so in love with this baby, and they're so excited to take her around, and they are on their way to introduce this baby to its grandparents, to Kelly's parents. And so they're eager, they're excited. This is not the kind of stop they expected, so they're on edge.
And Kelly is?
Yes, also very.
Is your
very,
wife?
Yeah, yes,
In
yes.
the-
Yes, my apologies.
yes.
Kelly is Nick's wife. They share a last name, and so does the baby. And they are, I mean, they're just so happy to have this little bundle, and they experience these delays. And this is not the first of the delays that they've experienced on their way in this trip. And this is a moment that they've been waiting for, you know. They're still growing up, but they've grown up up to this point, and they're, you know, they're experiencing this and they're doing their best, but they're certainly, it's a difficult thing to go through, that's for sure. So,
And this relates to you a little bit, doesn't it?
it does. I somewhat recently got engaged last August, which is extremely exciting, and it's, you know, a lot of other people who I know and have known over the years have gotten engaged, you know, 4, 5, or 6 years earlier than I have. So, and that's perfectly fine. This is when you have something that's right, it can come at the time that it comes at, and that's right. So I can certainly relate to that. Luckily, I'm not stuck at a train depot in New Hampshire, though.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We don't know about a honeymoon yet. So, Sue, I want to ask you something, and this is on a personal side. Is there a Christmas tradition that you celebrate every year, and how do you get into the Christmas spirit?
I would say that if there was one tradition, well, two. We always get a real tree. So I've been married 52 years, and for 52 years we've had a real tree. My husband will have nothing less than that. Number two is I bake all the time. And in the family, I'm Italian, and we bake Italian cookies, cannoli. There's one Italian cookie that takes 3 days to make, and it's delicious. You have to grind the fruit, and so everybody every year says, who's making the cuccidata this year? Because it's always the same recipe from person to person. So that would be my tradition is, I know my husband has pictures, and in the garage we have the ladders hung vertically, and the pictures of at least 25 or 30 cookie tins are lined up in the garage. Now this is when we lived up north and it was cold. And I make at least 20 kinds of cookies, and everybody goes home with cookies. And I mail cookies, and my grandson says, yeah, make me these. Yeah, you didn't make these. So cooking and baking would be my tradition every year for Christmas.
That's wonderful. The reason I ask about tradition is because I feel like these travelers aren't getting the chance to follow their normal tradition, and I was wondering if you have a tradition, Steve, that you take part in every year that gets you into the Christmas spirit.
No. We've lived in several different places, so we've always traveled back for Christmas. Now the family's coming in usually to see us for Christmas or Thanksgiving. I'm not a big baker. Debbie's not a big baker, but she's a great cook. Notice I said that.
We'll make note.
And not really, but it kind of, because you do have cookies on the train,
I
you
do.
know, so it falls
That was
right
another
in line with
connection,
Yes,
is that I
yes.
had the cookies.
and with you know, being engaged, congratulations.
Thank
But you know, actually, you with the baby on stage is a little different than what you thought it would be waiting that long, as kids normally are.
Oh, yes. And I asked that to bring it around to this. I know that personally, Christmas shows, choirs, singing, that sort of thing, is one of the things that I absolutely love, and really gets me into the Christmas spirit, and gets me ready for the season. And so that brings us to this performance. And Alex, does that have any effect as far as why you auditioned for this play?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a very significant show for me that I have been a part of is I played Charles Dickens in A Christmas Carol a few years ago, which is very significant. That's where I met my now fiance. And A Christmas Carol was also the very first show that I saw as a kid play on a stage. So getting to take part in this show and ideally help inspire Christmas spirit in the audience and in my fellow castmates does that very thing for me.
Yeah.
So getting to be a part of that and getting to display that honestly just puts me in the mood for Christmas.
That's
and I'm
wonderful.
ready for stockings.
Do you feel like if our wonderful audience would come to see this show, that it would put them in a Christmas spirit?
Most definitely. Most
Absolutely.
definitely.
Oh,
This
yes,
is-
for sure. Especially when they see our tree.
That's right. I think there are a lot of elements in this show that will touch on some of your own personal traditions and maybe no traditions, Steve.
The young man had a much better answer than I did.
So, Steve, why should these wonderful people come and watch this show? We would love for them to come, and let's tell them why we think they should.
Well, they should, because it is Christmas. And we're here in this beautiful Tennessee Valley. And we have 4 beautiful seasons. And you get together and share in not only the performers or the characters' misfortunes, but fortunes. And there's both. And we have some songs that they can sing along, possibly. So there will be singing involved. And this is an upbeat show.
Yes.
It's not, and it's actually a Christmas show. Not one just happens at Christmas.
Well, you did mention that special movie channel where we all get to watch these shows every season,
Yeah.
far into the season and long before. And this is going to be like that. It's a warm, fuzzy feeling show. It really gets you into the spirit, and I think we touch on a lot of things that are traditional for a lot of people, and I think they'd quite enjoy it. What about you, Kathy? Sue?
Yeah. I think
I warned
think
you I would
people-
do that, didn't I? I tend to call them by their character name.
People should look forward to coming to our playhouse. It's very comfortable. I've been in playhouses, and it's just a very comfortable place to be. The stage is, everyone can see it. No matter what seat you're in, you can see the stage. We have a great crew. The lighting is wonderful. The sound, everything is good. And I have to say that, you know, being in several plays there, the people are just, we come alive. You know, the lights come on and you're in it. And we want to bring you in too. We want to bring you into the Christmas spirit. We're already in it, you know. At Halloween, we're already in the Christmas spirit, but we want to bring the people into it.
Alex, I will ask you the same question, but I want to point out that you're the newest of my 3 actors here to step into this theater. Can you tell me why people should come to see this show?
Well, I've been involved in a couple other theaters, and Sue's right. It's a very comfortable theater. It's very refined. We get a lot of things right, you know, and just the very act of coming to see this show is going to put you in the Christmas spirit. I mean, there's a lot to be said for the reliable, specific type of happiness that you get from, you know, Christmas things. There's several different movies that I have always watched since I was a kid that I've always loved, that this makes me feel like a 6-year-old on Christmas Eve, you know? And that's what I get from this show. It's very sweet. It's very It's very Christmassy. You're very right. It's a Christmas show. It's not just a show that happens at Christmas. It makes you think of Christmas. Beg your pardon. It makes you feel Christmas.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Now I'm going to ask you all this question, and I'd like to start with you, Steve. If there were one takeaway for each audience member who came to see this show, what would you want that to be? What do you feel like is an important thing for them to walk away from the theater with?
One word: friendship. Because not only are we as cast members friends, but the number of people that are behind the scenes.
Oh, yes.
For every actor you see on stage, at least 5 people represent them off stage. So, I mean, the friendship that we develop, and I think the audience will walk away with that feeling also.
Agreed. Kathy, I'll ask you that question next.
I think the audience will come away with a sense of pulling together a community and family. So when you come away from this play, you realize that it doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, we all have commonality and we all can come together and make life better for each other and for ourselves.
Alex?
I would say there's a distinct imperative of generosity, which is what this season is about. This is what, I mean, you mentioned friendship. That's what volunteer theater is about. There's so many people that go into it, and you get to meet so many people and make friends with so many people I never would have met. There's only one person here that I would have met already, even if I'd never been in theater, and that's my mother. And there's such a, everybody's giving their time, their gas, you know, I mean, there's just so much that goes into it, and everything that does go into it comes out of the goodness of people's hearts. And that's true in every show, but it's very visible in this show because it's very much about that.
Alex, I want to ask you one other question. So this show has gone a bit beyond its norm for set design and lighting design, and do you feel like that adds to the excitement of the production?
Oh, most definitely. I gotta say, I've seen some really beautiful sets before, and this theater is in my opinion, is very good at making lovely sets. There's wonderful people behind the scenes who build things and design things and gather, you know, it's just wonderful. But this one, I think, is going to really, when the audience comes in and you see the curtain open, it's like unwrapping a present. I mean, there's just going to be so much to see on stage, and it all makes you feel warm, you know. It's great, and everybody involved has really doubled down on their creativity, and we've all got a very specific goal in mind, and everybody's working very hard towards that goal, and there's been a lot of time and effort put into that, and it's something to see for sure.
Steve, do you find it refreshing? We have some new players on our stage for this production. Do you find that refreshing to be able to see new faces on stage that would interest our audience?
Absolutely. It's that's why our name is now Tellico Community Players, Playhouse. It's for the whole community, and really over the last 5-6 years, you, Alex, have come from outside of the village and become part of our family. And I think you've been very welcomed, and we appreciate your effort and your work. And we love, people think you have to have huge experience to be part of our community playhouse. No, most of the people that are on stage have either never acted or haven't done anything since high school. So I ask the audience, come play with us, because we need you, not only as backstage, but also on stage.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I was thinking about this morning, how I would love it if our audience, if you have any desire whatsoever to be involved in theater, you should come and talk to us and see the play and talk to us afterwards. And if you think, well, I don't know how to do that, even though that really interests me, any one of the many jobs that are involved, you won't be left alone. You'll be welcomed warmly, and you'll be trained, and you'll probably be in the next Christmas show by then. I want to thank all of you so much for coming. I'm so excited to see you in your costume on the stage under those brilliant lights. I'm excited, and I want to encourage you to come and celebrate this Christmas season with us. We would love to have you. I think it'll be an experience to come see, a gift to remember that you will walk away and remember quite well. I think it will be an exciting move into your Christmas season and into your Christmas spirit. I want to thank the Tellico Village Network for and their many volunteers for allowing us to do this. They make it possible and are so beneficial to the entire community of Tellico Village, and I want to thank them. And I especially want to thank you, because if it weren't for you guys, we'd be doing this to an empty room, and that's not what any of us want. We want you to join us and be a part of us. So thank you very much. Merry Christmas, and I hope I'll see you there.